I just stuck a bull. This bull has been sounding gnarly, nasty. On my right, there's two bulls fighting. I can see them going, their bodies moving back and forth between the trees. And then all of a sudden I hear this. There's another bull right there. Walking through those aspens.
I shot him. You didn't hear that?
No. We both just shot the same bull.
I shot him first.
He shot him first. Oh my gosh. What a heck of a pursuit, dude. All freaking day.
When your buddy calls you, says you got a buck down. And what does he got? A buck down.
Look what I found.
What a sweet coos, man. Opening day, heck yeah. Way to go, Steve.
Built mountain tough, Scree Gear offers hunters the highest quality clothing for affordable prices. With patterns designed by military concealment specialists, Scree Gear brings you closer to the game without being detected. With every climate in mind, Scree Gear hosts a huge selection of clothing for all the terrains of North America and beyond. Check out Scree Gear today at www.screegear.com. Use promo code BowhuntingAZ for 15% off your first order.
National Automotive Repair is a locally owned and operated auto repair shop in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona. Jake McLaughlin and his team operate their business with a foundation of honesty, quality, and integrity. From routine oil changes to larger mechanical repairs, National Automotive can solve your issues and have you back in operation. The shop is located right off of I-17 and Thunderbird off Sweetwater Avenue, or call Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 at 602-978-3278. Arizona Archery Club is a premier partner with BowhuntingAZ. When it comes to attention to detail and a fiery passion, Arizona Archery Club brings it all to the table. With all the latest bows and archery equipment, you can demo every single model in person free of charge in their multiple demo rooms. Walk through the process with an experienced bow tech and see which bow is right for you without the sales pressure. Their indoor archery range offers air-conditioned lanes where you can shoot out to 40 yards. Take this awesome opportunity to hone in your accuracy and technique. When you visit, be sure to mention that you're a listener to the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Let's all support local. Real estate agents, are you looking to make your listing stand out? Arizona Listing Media has been transforming real estate listings since 2013 with their 5-star Google-rated services. Arizona Listing Media offers stunning photography, captivating drone footage, immersive 3D tours, and engaging video reels to showcase your properties at their very best. Are you ready to elevate your marketing game? Visit ArizonaListingMedia.com and book your session today. Let's make your next listing unforgettable. Getting groovy. Oh. Hey. Yeah. Bring it down now. Bring it down now.
You need to get some other music in here.
I know, dude. You can. I think they have a, was it firmware update or something? And there is a way to do some custom stuff, but yeah, we'll do something.
Dude, you gotta get some like
that.
No, I was thinking like Limp Bizkit.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah, dude.
dope.
Like a
little breakdown.
Let's see. We got a.
Yeah. No,
Not like that either.
Close.
Oh, okay.
No, not even close.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? Are we recording?
7 years. Yeah, we're recording. We're rolling.
Recording. Dang. Okay.
7 years, man.
All right.
All right. Tell a story.
I'm just kidding.
Well,
No.
there was this one time.
At band camp.
It was at our archery camp.
Oh, yeah, what happens at elk camp stays at elk camp.
Okay, never mind. I can't tell that story.
No, but yeah, 7 years. The BowhuntingAZ birthday.
How'd that start?
We started at, what are we at, episode 60 right now? Or this will be episode 61.
61.
Yeah, how did BowhuntingAZ start? I had started by trying to do the over-the-counter elk hunt and not knowing much about it other than that just go buy a tag for it, really.
Okay. So the over-the-counter, yeah.
And what was I doing? Some sort of car project. I think I was working on my water pump. And,
That's how we met, more or less. Right?
Yeah, is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about, like, what was the start and the beginning of you creating this BowhuntingAZ journey?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, we can talk about that as well, too, but
Well,
I mean,
that was part of it, yeah.
quite honestly, you're the one that started this whole endeavor, and then I was just blessed enough to be able to join you along. So.
Boy, how did it start? I guess there's some backstory. So, like, I had grown up in Black Canyon City, and at our little church there at Calvary Chapel, they had an after-church youth program where the guy, Ken Sloan, he's since passed away, but actually his wife was an Olympic archer.
Oh, wow, that's sick.
Yeah, and he had started an after-church program for the kids where he would just teach them to shoot archery and stuff. And he really took me under his wing, like, big time. Helped me buy, like, my first hunting license, helped me buy my first OTC deer tag, took me out for OTC deer. And yeah.
And when was that?
Oh, boy. Early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Because we moved there in 99. That's when Dad built the home, like 98, 99. And then, yeah, it was pretty quick after that. We started going to that church, and it wasn't too much longer. So probably 2002, 3, maybe 4. I'm terrible at, like, specific year
Times
recall
and
for
years,
stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so just shot bow a lot. Probably did that for 4 or 5 years. Because I did it almost all the way up into, well, maybe longer than that. I did it all the way up into high school. I think I stopped, like, right at my freshman year.
Some other things were more
dude.
pressing. Right?
Car, girls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I wasn't as big into the outdoors. Like, it definitely, I didn't have a dad that was adamant about it, so it was just kind of up to me. So, like, as a kid, when I got distracted by other stuff, like, that fell by the wayside.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it wasn't until actually that guy popped up on YouTube, Cam Haynes.
Oh, really?
I don't remember if it was Cam Haynes that I saw or if it was Joe Rogan. It was one of those guys.
Okay.
Might have been both together, but something popped up. Saw Cam Haynes, kind of jumped down that rabbit hole and was just like, heck yeah, dude. This guy's an athlete, works out,
Right.
hunts. I told the wife, I was like, I'm going to get a bow and get back into archery again. And she was like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't think she took it that seriously when I said it. I remember actually very vividly because I hadn't shot in a long time. And so I went and got a 2018 PSE Drive X and, perfect like starter bow.
Right.
Like maybe $400 or $500 or something. Went to the Arizona Archery Club, shout out to them. And got that all set up and everything and started shooting in the backyard. And I remember when I had told the wife, because she wasn't around at the time when I had started shooting bows back then and all that stuff, because I met her a little bit after high school. But I had told her I was into it, and I was like, I love to shoot. And I was like, I think I'm pretty good, like, blah, blah, blah. And so I showed her, and I remember she came out one day, and I was like, you got to see this. You got to see this. Come check us out. Come check us out. I was all like jacked up. She's like, what? And took her out back, and I had pulled my first Robin Hood. Like, not my first one, but the first one in a while.
Right.
And I was just all like,
Giddy,
and
yeah.
I think that kind of,
like,
I
"What?
remember
What
her
is this?"
saying, I remember her saying, she was like, I knew you were into it and like all about it. She's like, I didn't think you were like this about it. And I was like, oh yeah. Like, and so then it was all downhill from there, really.
Okay. So 2018, you get your PSC bow. You're kind of rekindling back into it, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then obviously you've seen some videos online, some reels, probably Facebook or Instagram, whatever, of this guy named Cam.
Yep. Yep.
Just hammering, right?
Yeah.
That was his big thing was keep hammering. The other thing now is like must be nice, right?
Yeah.
That was something we used to always say, like right out of high school, was like, oh, this guy's got this, must be nice, you know, or blah, blah, blah. And then now it's just like, you don't know what that dude's done to go to get that, you know? Yeah, you never know. Maybe, you know, this might be a kid that's got something super nice and you always say, you know, daddy's money or whatever. Maybe his dad passed away and that's how he's got it. You know, you never know the situation on something. Like this person put in hard work to go and get where they're at and be successful. So
Sure.
But yeah, that's kind of the model we used to say though too. Just like messing around, like this guy's got this, must be nice. Yeah.
I like his other saying too, that nobody cares, work harder.
Exactly. That's kind of the
especially
big
with
thing.
today, like kind of a big realization of like sharing stuff on social media and whatnot. And like it's cool to see people's journey and you know, to an extent, kind of, you know, keep tabs on people and stuff. It's cool. But at the end of the day, like sometimes I find myself wanting to share certain things. And I'm like, dude, nobody cares. Like,
Yeah, nobody cares.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like, this is irrelevant.
The only thing I can say on that though is like if you do share, it does kind of help other people hold you accountable. I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the one good thing about it. But if they get butthurt, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're not
that's
the one
why,
putting in the work.
because I kind of self-reflected on that. And particularly, like you said, like, why do I share some of the gym photos that I share and stuff? And like, I hope people understand, like, that's not for vanity. I'm not saying, look how fit I am. Like I crushed the mountain. Like a big part of that is like me doing a record book of like, hey, I showed up today. And I'll say that sometimes in my things. And I've meant it, especially this last week, dude. I've been tired. Like again, I've been getting hammered at work. I was like, I think I said in one of the captions, I did not want to be here today. Like, and I really didn't. And that's at the point where I'll be like, all right, like,
That was, I think, because
Come on,
I sent you
let's
a
push
photo in the
harder.
morning that too. I was saying like, just finished the gym, whatever. And then you're like, then you posted something later. But no, that's exactly the point. Like for me, I've been just posting on in the mornings. Like I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym at 5, be done around 6:30, and then go do a 9-hour, 10-hour shift of work.
yeah.
So yeah,
I miss that. I'm I guess envious of that schedule that you have. Like if I could get my wife to go to bed earlier, I would definitely be an early riser. But her and I going to bed at the same time is like kind of just a
yeah, dude. Like
just married life. So
right now, I am in bed around like 8:30. 9's late for me right now. But
I used to wake
usually
up at
8:30.
3:30 back in the day. But
Yeah.
I like that morning quiet time to yourself. Like that's probably like one of my favorite times of the day.
Yeah. But the point is like I'm posting it to just show like consistency of just like, okay, you know, here every day, showing up, maybe a couple days and obviously 2 days of relax, but
Yeah. Well,
but just being consistent.
when I took a little bit of a hiatus too from fitness and working out and stuff, it was kind of nice to go back and look at some of the pictures and be like, dude, like I was like fit. Like I want that back. And that also helped play into the motivation as well, because it was like, dude, I want to get back to where I was. Like that was a base, like I held that as a baseline right there. And like, cool, now let's get back to that and then continue pushing.
Right.
So that's kind of nice to have too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we got sidetracked there a little bit, but
Yeah.
but yeah. So you were talking about, you know, obviously 2018 getting the PSC. You were kind of watching Cam Haynes, and you just kind of rekindled that, obviously, because you've always been into fitness, really. And then it kind of rekindled your joy for archery, but never really tapped into the outdoors of hunting yet, right? Because growing up, you never had anybody to really take you out hunting. Per se. You've maybe gone out. I mean, you have family in Colorado.
Sure.
So fishing and being outdoors, that's something different.
Oh yeah.
But actually pursuing the actual animal to actually harvest and kill. That's something different. And so is that also your kind of just another challenge along the way that you were thinking, okay, well, if I'm going to do archery, what's the next step?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we had always kind of had like a live off the land mentality, you know. Dad has always been a huge angler. Like
Right.
anytime we could throw a line in the water, he would do it. So, I mean, man, I fished so much as a kid, and we always everything we like for when people and I hear catch and release, I'm like, what? I'm like, why would you throw it back? Like,
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like,
yeah,
we're going up to Montana this year, and Jack was calling around some different guides, and they were like, oh, well, we could do this, you know, blah, blah, blah. But this river's catch and release. And I'm telling Jack, like, what?
Why would we go there?
Why would you even tell me this,
Let's
dude?
find a different river.
I'm not going to spend money just to go and release a fish again. What the heck?
No, especially if I'm paying for it.
So, same mentality.
Yeah. So we had kind of had that mentality, and Dad was always like a big pusher, grinder. Like we did lots of cool hikes in Colorado, you know.
Didn't you do the Humphreys Peak too? Have you done that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've climbed Humphreys. That's a good hike. But yeah, lots of stuff in Colorado. I haven't done a 14er yet. That's still on my to-do list, but I asked Dad, I was like, you got one more in you?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
He's got it.
Yeah, I don't know.
He said, give me time. The thing is, the 14er that we want to do, which is Longs Peak, is you camp overnight. So you hike about halfway up to the boulder field, which is where these big boulders about the size of houses are. And you just camp in there, and it kind of shelters you from the wind. And then you make an early summit to the top before the thunderstorms roll in.
And you make your way down.
Yeah. I think you're at like 14.4.
Wonder what the mileage would be on that hike.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I can Google it. Hey, Jamie, Google, pull this up.
Jamie?
Yeah, from Joe Rogan podcast. He's the one that always researches everything. How long is the hike for Longs Peak?
I'm just curious. If it's like a 15, 20 mile, what?
Yeah, so this says best time of day begin your hike for Longs Peak is at 3 a.m. I remember that's a big thing. You got started early because almost constantly there's either some sort of like gnarly winds or thunderstorms rolling in because the mountains, you know, so tall. Typically this hike is about 15 miles, takes between 10 to 15 hours to complete. You'll want to be below tree line when the afternoon thunderstorms begin. So people die up there all the time, man. That's just kind of the allure of it, really.
Yeah.
It's not
the challenge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's this one part, I think he said it's called the Narrows, where he's like, you're literally walking against a cliff face. It's about 1.5 foot shelf for your feet. And there's like wires there you can kind of hold on to that are lagged in the mountain. But he's like, it's 1,000 foot plus drop on the left side. There's like nothing there. And so I was like, I'm not keen on heights. So that part I'm kind of like, I'm not afraid of it. Like I'll do it, but it's just like, sketch.
I mean, like when we go hunting, there's been some spots that have been super sketch. Yeah. Like there's nothing to grab onto. There's loose shale, you know, like there's been some times that have been sketch, but
for sure. Sorry. So let's get back on track there. We were talking about So I mean, Dad took me, I think, quail hunting a couple times, you know.
Okay. So light bird hunting, kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he introduced me to guns too. You know, he had a little 22, and he never had anything like, you know, never had a 308 or 30-06 or nothing like that. I think 22 was the biggest gun we had in the house.
Okay.
Little bolt action rifle. So he taught me how to shoot all that and stuff, which was cool, and taught me how to shoot shotguns. We were big on shooting like skeet together. We liked shooting clay pigeons and stuff.
Okay.
Just because we lived out in the mountains. Got
one
of them little clay pigeon throwers from Sportsman's that has the latch that you pull and it's spring loaded and shoots it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the hand ones.
I know. We always just had
a legit one that you just you cock it back, it would lock spring loaded, and you pull a string and it would shoot it.
Gotcha.
Pretty good. It had some distance on it. So we do that, and then that was kind of his introduction, really, to me to the outdoors.
Okay.
Nothing hunting related other than like the quail, I guess. But
okay. And then so to backtrack, that's kind of all back before high school area, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably at the latest, maybe like 13, 14. And then that's when that kind of period fizzles out a little bit.
Okay.
I had to get a job. You know, that's one thing I'm grateful for him is he taught me my work ethic. He's like, hey, if you want phone, car, gas, whatever, you pay for it, not me.
Right.
So he's like, go work. So that's kind of probably what took a lot of, other than, you know, high school and all that other stuff, took a lot of my time was getting a job and doing all that stuff.
Yeah. So, I guess what was the first big game hunt you ever went on?
I mean, do we really count the OTC elk hunt? That was just me going out there by myself.
Yeah, but it was still your adventure and your will or want to actually get out there and try it, right?
Yeah. Going out by myself. I had, what did I have? I think I had my AR-10 at the time.
Okay.
I mean, I had a scope on it. I had it sighted in. I had it dialed in to 200 yards, which is, that'll work for where you're at out there, I guess.
Yeah.
But didn't know what I was doing. I have a picture, actually, and I've got a freaking elk reed in my mouth in like July. Because that's what I think when that hunt kind of is, in odd months.
Oh, they're trying to bugle in July.
What? Yeah. So it's funny to look back on. I think I'm also wearing like a hunter orange hat, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's just kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was cool. I mean, that was when I started to get out and like kind of enjoy the sightseeing portion of it.
Right.
I remember I found like some legit Indian pottery, huge pieces. I found a handle to a pot. I actually found, which I thought was weird because to my knowledge, we don't really have any around here, maybe other than flag, but I found like chipped obsidian shards, which was cool. And I was like, cool. They were like making broadheads, doing all that stuff.
Right.
I don't think I found any petroglyphs on that part, but I found some pretty cool like giant snakeskin sheds and stuff like that. And yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, this is dope getting out here, finding these things that
Right.
you don't normally see every day. So unless you're out there.
So you obviously starting out trying to do this OTC elk, wasn't successful.
Nope.
Right. But you ended up obviously learning patience, learning, hard work of getting out there, getting up in the mornings, probably hiking, doing all this, maybe July, obviously the heat.
Yeah.
So kind of enduring the suffer a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into, what is it? Probably maybe in the next year or 2 years later, you end up getting drawn for a deer tag.
Yeah.
And end up actually getting your first deer.
Yep. Yeah, I'd put in for those rifle mule deer.
Okay.
And I got drawn with that same gun.
Okay. And then obviously
at that time, I think I had, for whatever reason, changed out my scope. I only had like a 5X, like a Vortex 5X.
right.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah,
With the illuminated reticle on it? Yep. And on that hunt, I was sitting, I had a bipod on the AR-10. And on that hunt, like a couple days before I finished, I had knocked my rifle over and it hit pretty freaking hard on the bell of the scope.
Okay.
And I remember having to run up to a indoor shooting range that I happened to pull up on Google and dialing it in. Fortunately, they had 100 yards indoors. So I was like, he's like, oh yeah, here's what you do. Here's how you sight in for 200 at 100.
Right.
And all this and blah, blah, blah. Helped me get all figured out and everything. And went back out that evening and shot and missed. And yeah. Then the second day, that was when I had kind of figured out that pattern of those deer in that gauntlet that you and I have been to 1,000 times.
Yeah, all the time.
I was like, all right. I remember watching them come over the hill down that gauntlet the first day that I missed.
Right at sundown.
Oh, yeah. And then I saw them there again the second day, and I was like, holy crap, they're going to do this. And
Yep.
I think it was probably, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like a growth, I guess, in myself right there was that I had recognized how deer were going to move.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they did that the first day. Their body language and the way that this like little herd is moving is the same thing again. And
Right.
so I could predict where I need to be.
Yep.
And that is literally, I put myself right there. I got a 60-yard shot when I missed it like 250 the day before. So, yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, you've ended up finally being successful with your first big game animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was with a rifle, but either way, still being able to be successful, experiencing that, gutting your first big game animal, skinning it, doing all that, quartering it, everything, right?
Yep.
Was that once you finally got that in your baggage and and you've got that in your belt, is that what just blew up and made you want to start getting another challenge of like, okay, what's the next challenge now from here?
Yeah.
Archery, you know? I mean,
Yeah, I think so. Definitely hooked. I remember how hard it was. Like, I didn't know what I was doing at all. I had put no forethought into what happens. I had done hunter ed, and I remember being taught how to skin a deer and going through all that stuff. But like when I was actually there and had the animal in front of me, I was
right. You're
like,
oh, what do
crap.
I do? Yeah.
I literally, and I've told this story before, but I literally had to put my phone on a cactus, a prickly pear, and point it at me while I FaceTimed a friend to tell me what to do. And so he walked me through it, and he was dying laughing. And
like, what's this? I don't know what to do with this.
Yep. But we got it done, and then he was like, oh, because he lived in Black Canyon at the time too. He's like, just drag the deer out, and once you get it gutted, bring it to my house. He's like, they had the crossbars and whatnot.
Hang it up.
We'll hang it up, and I'll show you how to do it, where we can take our time.
You carried the whole sucker out.
Yeah, me and my dipstick thoughts, I throw this whole deer onto the pack, and I'm carrying this thing out instead of dragging it, which would have been a million times easier. And so yeah, I carried it out. I remember that was like probably the first time I had like really felt like the stress of like a pack out, you know?
Right.
I had never carried an animal out like that before. So yeah, then I think that kind of hooked me after that, having that meat, processing it and doing all that stuff. We loved it. I remember we definitely ate that deer for a while. And I think after that it was like, okay, well, that was November. The year had rolled over. And then I think as soon as August OTC rolled around, I remember just practicing with my bow a lot, getting ready. And then August OTC rolled around, and we had put in the work because back then, you know, we could use trail cams and all that stuff. So running cams and kind of figuring out what deer were there and all that, and set up a ground blind, and was like, all right, I'm going to try and sit this and see if they keep doing this pattern that we've been seeing them do.
Right. And so at that point, then we've already became friends really at that point. Because the year you shot your buck, that next year is when we kind of ended up finally coming across paths, and then we ended up finding out that we had the same elk tag, and just building off from there. But it's just interesting to see how, I guess, somebody develops into this model for other people. Obviously, you know what I mean? Because we've had people come up to us and say, hey, I've been successful because of you guys, because of things that you've told us, or you know, the podcast and all that. And so just trying to see the beginning of where it all comes from, the development, and where you're at now. It's just freaking cool.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just always interesting and fascinating. And then so
I remember running into you out in the woods. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, that was...
We literally just randomly crossed paths, and you're like, oh, what's up, dude? I think, were you just talking to me just because you saw a hunter? I think you saw, or what, did you recognize my car?
No, I think I recognized your car because we were talking about, like, I think I've told you this before, or told it on podcast, but like we were talking once you came into the shop one time, and we just started talking about, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, I'm going up north doing this over-the-counter thing, so forth, whatever. I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, I think I'm doing the same thing too. You're like, oh, cool, you know? And then I ended up finding you out there with your little red Toyota Camry.
My Camry, yep.
And coming across you. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up?
That Camry will get anywhere, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it just kind of started from there. And then I don't know how or what, but then I think I talked with the old man, and he was like, oh, yeah, that's Steve, you know, that's my neighbor's son or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, cool.
Yep.
And then, we ended up finding out we had the same elk tag. That was in 2019. Ended up getting that bull right there for you.
Yep. Old Frank.
Well, that's not Frank. That's
yeah, you got Frank the Tank. That's Billy.
Billy.
Yeah, sorry.
Bugle and BA.
Now I'm trying to think. I killed that coos before the elk, right?
Yeah. So,
now, was that our first time hunting together? I think it was.
I think
wasn't
so.
It?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, but we had already started scouting for elk, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we spent Jeez.
Yeah. My wife told me, she's like, you ran your limit on our marriage on that one. Cause I was gone like
Probably since
every
like
weekend.
probably like since the first week of May or even in April,
Yep. We did a lot, man.
all the way till the hunt.
We were
But
up there
we've-
constantly.
But now, I mean, we've put in the work and we know, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
but yeah, that was literally almost every weekend.
We just learned that unit super, super
Very,
well.
very well. Yeah.
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 Which is cool. That's cool because now it's other than the factor of like some animal movement, it's like we kind of forever know that unit now. So
Right.
I mean, there will always be variables, like I said, the animal
Right.
movement, and maybe if a fire happens or something or whatever, like some things will change. Right now, there's a bunch of logging going on, but yeah,
Yeah. But I just remember that.
the time spent paid for itself.
Just being goofballs going out every weekend, and just spending that time. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that was a blast.
Getting stuck in a gnarly lightning storm on top of a mountain.
Yeah, that was sketch. Those trees falling.
That was sketchy.
You thought it was thunder, and then you're like, "Oh
Dude.
crap, dude! That's a tree coming down. Got to get out of here."
Yeah, and you walk by and there's like smoke coming off the top of the tree. You're like, what?
Yeah, that was
It
crazy.
just cracked open.
Or finding the gnarliest road in all of Arizona,
Yeah.
comparing all other roads to it.
Yep. Every time.
This ain't like such and such.
No. Oh shoot, man. This ain't that. Even like this,
We're getting 3 wheels on a mining road. That was sketch.
Yeah, that was another hunt.
Yeah. So we kind of graduated slowly after. So I got my coos down, and I remember you showing up, coming out there.
Yep.
You helped me pack out. I'm trying to think. Did you bring me beer on that one?
I don't think so.
I
Not on
don't
that
think
one.
you did. No, I got a cool picture though. Still, I have that
From the trail camera.
The trail cam picture of us
Yeah.
hiking out together.
Walking out. That was where I was hauled butt like so fast. I remember.
Was
I
it
think.
that one?
I think
I don't
so.
think that was it. I think it was the other. That one. It was the day I pulled a half day. Because that one you did bring me beer.
It was a half day, maybe. I don't know. Because
Yeah, I
that
think so.
one, the first one,
You
the
might be
Velvet,
right.
was a full day.
Yeah,
You sat the whole day.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, I remember you texted me. It was like, you're like 1 o'clock or something in the afternoon. You're like, I think I'm about to leave. Whatever.
I was pissed. And then like it was like closer to 5 o'clock. I ran out of water, and it was like 105 outside. So who knows what it was inside a blind, but I told myself to suck it up and stick it out and pay it off. So that probably, again, like I said, with learning the deer, like a moment that, progressed myself of learning the deer and stuff. That was probably a moment too. I learned, hey, don't give up. Like,
Right.
you never know. Like that deer came in at last light, like walked right in 30 yards, boom, dead. So if I had gone home at 5 o'clock, he would have walked right past that and I'd never gotten him. So, so then we got the coos down. We both got our bulls.
Yeah.
I was watching videos. People probably saw me go on a tangent of posting stories. the
reels?
other day. I was
Yeah.
posting all our memories, dude, just because, it's
fun.
just cool stuff. And I feel like we've accomplished quite a fair bit of adventures in 7 years.
I'd say
So I was like watching you walk up to your bull Frank for the first time. That was cool in the evening. And it was like that cool golden light.
Right.
And
Those high reeds right there next to him the whole
yeah,
time.
that was a long day. That was another one that just was like, hey, man,
I've just come to a conclusion that every Jake elk hunt is a long day.
one of these days, man, you're just going to smoke it and he's going to drop right there. And I'll be like, oh, where was that?
About freaking time, dude.
Tired of chasing these from morning till night, dude. Come on, get it together.
I just do it backwards, bro.
Yeah.
You
just
know,
want
everybody usually like puts in the hard work before, and then they get the perfect shot placement, and then it's easy.
You're just really good at making sure it's memorable.
Exactly. I'm usually like, okay, we get in there, be quick, okay, and then I shoot, and then you put the suffer. I do the suffering last. I don't do the suffering first.
Can I put in a request to where we can like get one of those ones where we like go back and like chill the rest of the day afterwards instead of having to recover the whole day after.
Right. Literally, you spend the whole next day just recovering.
But that was fun, man. That experience was cool though. Other than the grind part of it, but like I remembered putting again another growth moment where we, okay, here's a pin drop of blood.
Right.
You stay here, and then the other person circles around you and then finds the next pin. And it's literally just like a leapfrog, you know.
Yeah. Until you run out of blood.
Yeah, definitely pucker factor of because it started to rain and it was like, oh crap.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I remember
like,
that.
Oh no! Like, is it going to wash away we had never done a track like that, so is it going to wash away the blood? I still think you have time. Like, I think it's got to rain hard for it to really wash blood away.
It never really did rain either.
No, that's true. Yeah,
it never did.
It started coming down a little bit, like to say it was more than a sprinkle, but it did stop pretty quick too.
Yeah.
I remember you learned, I think, to walk over.
Still never learned.
No,
come on, man.
To walk over. I don't know
when you're cresting a ridge.
Yes,
right.
I told you. So he might be right there. Walk slowly, and boom, there he goes.
To his defense, he camouflaged really well.
Yeah. Yeah, those reeds were tall and thick that year. I remember there were a lot of them.
Yeah. And there was broken trees and falling down, you know. This just looks.
Then there's just antlers sticking out of them. So
yeah, but he blended in very well. It looked like just like another reed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one heck of a adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Then you fast forward to this last year. That was another heck of an adventure.
Yeah.
But
don't go too fast. We still got a lot of ground to cover in between.
No, we still do.
I like that video too. So I posted the video of you walking up in the evening light. That was cool because it was like that perfect golden hour. But then I like the video too of you walking out with that
at night,
big freaking 5-frame at night. And at that point, what was that? Like 1 a.m.?
No, we didn't get back to the trailer till about 1. So it was probably 12.
Like 2. Yeah, we got back at like 2.
All right, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
It was late. It was late, dude.
Yep.
Just that freaking dark, lonely drive on the way back to the trailer.
Yeah. We're like, we're going to make steaks and have some beers.
Yeah, and then I get in the car and you just...
I do. I fell asleep on the way back. Huh?
Yeah, you did. As soon as you close that door, you're out.
I was done.
And I just got to drive back for the next 30 minutes by myself, tired already too. It's like, okay, yep.
That was a long freaking day.
That was so long, dude.
Yep.
But yeah, and then so you ended up getting yours was nice. You ended up getting yours early in the morning, and we ended up coming back and grilling and having a couple beers, and then closed up camp and came home that day too. I mean, didn't get home till about 9 o'clock at night, but still, because we ended up having to go up to the processor and going up into town and doing all that too.
Yeah, we had planned on leaving after that morning anyways. That was kind of like a last hurrah.
Yeah.
Hail Mary.
Which I kind of had a good feeling too, just because we knew what was going on, where they were coming, that area. And I just had a good feeling about that next morning, because I remember that day before was pretty sour.
That was rough.
It was pretty sour. Ended up getting spooked by a couple bulls that midday too as well. I remember there was one that was a broken off bull that was in like the fallen tree areas.
Yeah, like the deadfalls there.
And I was trying to
squeeze it in.
I was trying to get your attention that whole time, because I seen him walking up, and I just seen you looking off in a different direction. And then you eventually look over and you're like,
I saw him. Yeah.
Oh, there's a bull. And
I
I'm
thought
like,
about, was like, do I try and squeeze that in there? Because he had probably his lower half covered by the deadfall.
By the deadfall, yeah.
You know, and I was like, I think he was like,
he wasn't a bad bull.
No, he's fine. 50, 55 maybe.
Yeah.
Around there. But gave him the pass.
But if that didn't happen, you would have never gotten to witness the other experience that you had too.
Way cooler experience.
So
for sure.
Yeah. That was one heck of an adventure, man. And then so
dude.
So what? After that, oh man.
Like Texas.
Was it Texas?
Either Texas or it might have been a couple of these other. I think
because was Texas before?
Oh no! You know what? So I killed the Velvet opening day.
Yep.
Of OTC August.
Then you get your bull.
Killed him, and then killed that guy on closing day of OTC in January.
Okay.
And that's the one that you came and helped me pack out.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the
other little
with the beer,
the coos. Yeah. So that was Yeah, because and then after, so that was August of probably 2019.
Yep. That would have been 2019. Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, August of 2019. Bowl in September of 2019.
Yep.
And then that would have been 2020.
January
31st, 2020. Yeah. And then that was when we went to the Texas after that.
So it was then.
Yep.
Okay.
Because we went to Texas in 2020. That was the summer of that.
Because I was thinking, I think I shot my coos deer in 21.
Yes, that was after. Yeah. So we did Texas. You shot your oryx first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. Because so I ended up shooting mine. And then for like it was still like another 3 days. But like for the next 2 days, I guess you could say, you were over there struggling. You're having a little bit of a tough time.
Yeah.
Of course, you were trying to. I don't know. It's a tough time to try and hunt axis during the summer too, because they're just. I mean, in general, I guess you can say that, but archery hunting axis is not easy.
No.
They don't go into the feeders. They don't go really into anything. Maybe water would be the.
Yeah, water seems to have been working for the guys lately.
Yeah.
They're hunting.
I remember actually.
They're just elusive, man.
This is fast forwarding quite a bit, but I remember when the last recent trip we went to Texas, that was the big thing. You'd throw out alfalfa, nothing. You'd throw out feed, nothing. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
But that one stand or blind that me and Bubba were at was kind of in the way of them to actually go towards the water trough.
Oh.
So you would catch them crossing that power line section.
Yes.
And because that's on the way to that water trough. And that's when we ended up finding them and seeing them. And then
I sat the same one you did, and I'd keep seeing them in the back. Like they'd just be tucked in the trees and they would be passing right there. And it's like, what the heck? Like they're walking right past the feeder and they could care
They don't
less.
care about that. Yeah.
No, they don't care at all.
They didn't.
And they would just be cruising kind of slowly through that tree line. And they were just probably, like you said, making their way to the water trough.
So that's the thing I can say about like axis hunting with a bow is super tough. Because then at that point, you were over there trying to just, okay, well, nothing's coming in. Probably, I don't know where you started with it. What your I guess game plan was with a guide. I don't know if you wanted to just start right off the bat with spot and stock, or were you wanting to try out and see what happens and then
we were sitting blinds. I was definitely at the advice of my guide. We were sitting blinds, and remember I had that black buck come in.
Okay.
For a while, and I was like, how is he? You know, I'd never seen exotics before, so I don't know. And
right.
Dude, he was like 18 yards for a while. And he's like, he's okay. Like he's mature. I think he was like 16 inches or something, I think he said. But he's like, we have 19s, 20s, maybe some mid 20s even. So he's like, there's bigger ones out there for sure. So that kind of, when he said that, I was like, And then I remember Jason kind of razzing me for that. He's like, dude, you had a black buck at 18 yards and you passed? And I was like, yeah, but they're so small. And when you see
they are small.
Yeah. And so it's nothing that really like strikes you when you see it. They're cool, but it's not like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah.
You know, and so I'm trying to remember what else we'd sat some tree stands, would see nothing. I remember it was tough hunting that year. I feel like, I don't feel like it was super easy I guess for me. Maybe I was just in the wrong spot. I don't know. But I don't feel like I saw an overabundance of animals.
I did.
Okay. Well, you had it better than I did, I guess.
Yeah, you just should have been hunting with Chris.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, I kind of take that back. That I did not intend really to shoot the axis at first. We saw Neil Guy.
Oh, wow.
We were spot and stalking Neil Guy. We had him at 70. And our wind changed because I was about to shoot one. So I told him, I was like, dude, I can hit that. And he's like, no. He's like,
probably near the windmill, right?
I
think that either way.
It's near, no, treehouse.
Okay.
Not treehouse. That big elevated blind that was like high up there.
Okay.
That you had to climb really tall.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where we started. We climbed out of it and then went like, so the treehouse blind is right here. The feeder's right here. We went this way.
Okay.
Off into it got like thick because we had seen. He's like, Neil Guy are over there. And I was like, cool. I was like, dude, let's go. Which I still want to kill him. Yeah. We had gotten on them, and don't remember if we saw a bull or if they were just cows, which doesn't really matter because they both have horns.
Yeah, and they're both big, but probably just one has maybe a darker coat, I'm guessing, and then
bigger beard probably.
Yeah, bigger beard, yeah.
But we had him at 70, and I was like, dude, I can hit that. Like especially a Neil guy. That's like shooting a buffalo at 70. Like, okay. But yeah, he was like, dude, their skin is so thick. He's like, unless we're 50 or closer, you're not shooting that. I'm not gonna let you. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then our wind switched, and that's what changed it.
It took off.
Yeah. And then Amigo over here let out a couple one too many roars, and we're like, oh,
that was. I remember me and Chris were trying to do like a little spot and stock, and just to see what we can find, I guess.
Yep.
Because we weren't really, I don't know, like when we were starting out, I think he was saying, he's like, okay, what would you want to go for? And I didn't really know. This was probably the first day or whatever. And it was either like axis buck, or then I was like, I really kind of want to do a scimitar though, you know, and we're doing oryx. He's like, oh, well, tell me what you want. And we're like, I don't know, let's just see what we can find. So we were chasing some roars, and it was just like an odd, weird roar. I've never heard that before. It was cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it was interesting.
That was like super timely, man. It was just one of those things where like it was just meant to happen.
Yeah.
We had literally just been busted, turned around, we're about to walk away, and then he's just over there. And I was like, oh, it's like, because and you're counting. That's what they sound like.
I don't know.
Dude, come on.
You sound more like a pig right
Whatever, man. Let's do this. Access roar.
Oh, man.
Call me a liar.
But
There you go.
yeah.
Let's see if he does it. Not too far off.
That's it.
Anyways, yeah, that was when he had told me, I think that day, he's like, the more they roar, the more mature of a axis it is. And I think he let out at least 3, if not 4. So I was like, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we ended up having I don't know. In my mind, it was like a once in a lifetime opportunity. It still seems like that.
For sure. I was telling somebody the story the other day about it, and I was like, I remember begging my boss, because I was employed at the time.
Oh.
I remember begging my boss, like, please let me go. Like, I've got this opportunity to go. Like, can I get the PTO, please? And he's like, all right, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh. No, it was insane, man. It was insane to think, you know, like the month or the year before that, of all it just hit so quick. I don't know. It hit so quick. You getting your buck down, us both getting our bulls. January, you getting another buck, and we go out to Texas doing that. It's just like boom, 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 boom. It was just, it was surreal, man.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Then after that, I think we ended up trying to maybe start dabbling into bear a little bit too.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Had some rough patches there.
Yeah.
Some very rough patches, as I think any bear hunt is.
Okay.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, it makes for some tough times, good memories. Not really good memories, but
yeah.
But
yeah, we had fun.
it shapes you, man. It shapes
for
you.
sure.
You find out if you're a real hunter or not.
Are you a real hunter or what?
Yeah.
Good old pops.
You find out if you're a good real hunter or not, man. But yeah, we ended up having a bear hunt. I think that was, I don't know, where was it? Did we first try it over like in the unit where we hunted, or was it over in the other unit?
We started in our elk unit because we had seen that mom and cub on our elk hunt scouting, remember?
Yes. Okay.
We started there, and eventually we did branch out to another unit too.
Okay.
I think that was the following spring and fall we branched out to another unit.
Yeah, and still had great success of finding them, just
Yeah.
not shooting it.
Yeah. That was a rough patch for you.
That was really rough.
Missing that cinnamon, huh?
It's tough.
That is tough. You see him in your dreams sometimes still?
Every time. Every time.
That sucks, man. Missing is just tough. That's nothing.
It really is. There's a difference of missing and then like being able to do a follow up. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But missing like a huge bear,
A good one. Yeah, that's
and a color phase bear at that is just, man, that sucked.
yeah.
But you had the same heartbreak too, you know. So
Sure. Yeah.
but yeah, then we ended up.
I guess you're up next after that.
Yeah, had the Coos deer hunt. So That same year, after we were trying to get into some bear hunting, we ended up going in and we knew there was good coos deer in that area where you've killed your first one.
Yep.
Because that first deer you got was a coos. And so yeah, I ended up putting in, got a rifle tag, and ended up walking away with a nice, awesome buck.
Day 2, I think, right?
Day 2, yeah. Day 2, man.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was a great story.
Yeah.
We didn't have to suffer.
Yeah, no. Hey, if you could kill your elk like you kill your coos, dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Dropped him right there, dude.
Especially if you
actually made him do a backflip.
So especially if you can make your elk do a backflip, that'd be even more impressive.
That'd be crazy. To witness an elk do a backflip. I don't know what that would take, dude. 50 cal?
I don't even know if a 50 would do that.
Jeez, dude. Oh man. Yeah, that's just so cool, man.
For those wondering, 300 Win Mag's probably too much for a coos deer.
At least at 220 yards, yeah.
Yeah, at least at 200 yards it is.
Yeah, way too much. If you're trying to at least keep the meat and not blow out a shoulder or something.
You know what's cool? And what I would say is even though it was your hunt is memorable for me on that, is I feel like that's the first hunt that we got really good on film.
Yeah.
Because we were able to do a full 2-part episode. We got the kill shot on camera.
Yeah. I mean, we did some other films that I thought was really cool. It wasn't a successful hunt, but I remember the hunt where we crossed into a different unit, like a neighboring unit. And I just remember we got up like super early in the morning. We were walking this little ridge, and there was some deer that came up over a saddle.
Oh yeah.
And I still always think that footage of like you kind of walking right behind me and like following the bow, and like that was such like one of my favorite footage that I can remember.
That's when we were being goofy that day, singing on the side of the mountain.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think
we did some
that's
like
every
goofy.
time.
Yeah,
I think that's every time, dude. Oh, we did start singing some stupid songs. Yeah.
I think we posted it somewhere. It's probably back in the in the archives.
Ridiculous. That's also the same time we ended up seeing that helicopter come in.
Oh yeah, that was our first game and fish experience. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Helicopter came. Right
but that was some good footage. That was a good little short clip video.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think Texas was one of the best videos that we've produced too.
Yeah, we did film Texas as well.
And that was before the coos.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay.
Ranchero.
Yep. Yeah, we did do that one.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Okay.
And then you follow up years later with the knock it out of the park turkey hunt.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So what was after? So you got your coos. What was the next? I mean, I have some other bucks, I guess. I'm trying to think. Did I kill that? That's a different unit with the tag on it. Did I kill him before the turkey? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was before the turkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got him down. So that'd be another kill.
Yeah.
With the bow. Yeah, because you went out with me.
That was the same season, but but obviously not that day.
Right. So we got that one down. Then turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Got drawn for turkey. Dude, that was a blast.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a heck of a hunt. I remember we got out there and it was just pouring.
Yeah.
Well, we set up first, right? We set up and then it started pouring.
No, it was raining when we got there.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was raining when we got there. Yeah, we set it up in the rain. It wasn't hammering down at that point yet.
Yeah.
But, that was another setup in a spot where we thought we were gonna end up being like turkeys galore, which there probably still were.
I mean,
then we ended up
had
completely changing the whole script.
Oh yeah.
And
it's just funny how often you can go into a hunt being like, okay, cool, they're here. This is where it's gonna be. It's gonna go down. And then it's like, nope.
Right.
Everything changes.
Nope.
And it doesn't end up going down at all like you thought it was gonna do.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. But that's also why you need to get out there, man.
Yeah.
That's why we spent even then. So like that's the weird part. Like we've hunted that unit so much, obviously, because during our elk hunt, we've spent like I don't know what was that? Probably 5-6 months out there, right? With scouting and all that. So then we've also came to realize during that time of, okay, where we found some really good turkey areas.
Yeah.
And that's why we ended up thinking, okay, we're going to go in here. Well, that doesn't plan out. You got to find another spot. And we go to the trusty old spot that we've had in the back.
Which did we
in the old
really scout
family
that
book
at all for turkey?
No, but the family books just had it.
You're like, well, Dad killed one here. And
everybody in the family's always got one there. Grandpa, the old man, me, yeah.
You got yours on there too?
Not at that, but on the mountain.
Close to it?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Heck yeah, man.
On that shelf.
Old tried and true. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. I remember that turkey kicking me in the face. That was fun.
Yeah, dude, you're getting pissed.
I was pissed. I was about to smash his dome.
You were, dude. You went and picked up a boulder like you're gonna smash his head. I was like, wait.
Yeah, thank you.
Just let him.
Thank you
go
for
out.
doing
let
that,
him
because
go
now
out.
I've got the skull there at least.
Let him go out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun hunt.
It was
a great hunt.
I was super nervous just because I haven't shotgun hunted a lot like that. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I've dove hunted and quail hunted and stuff, so I get the,
Right.
I've had that experience, but just, you've got to choke on it, and it's a much more confined pattern, I feel like, than a spread for something flying. But, I don't know. I was just nervous.
It is fun. I don't know if it's a fun hunt. It's not something I would give up a whole bunch of time to go and make sure I'm successful on a turkey hunt, but it's like a good weekend hunt, I guess. I don't know how else to explain that.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's cool to experience, to get the turkey coming in, gobbling, strutting, doing all that.
Yeah.
Well,
he came in dead quiet, but
at the end of the day, it's still just.
I think
in my mind, it's a turkey, so it's like okay.
Yeah, not as much because we definitely hunt for the meat, so it's like not as much of a yield there.
Right.
Although he is absolutely delicious, but
yeah.
I think I'd like to get one as comes in and struts, but other than that, I'm not like super pursuant of turkey really.
Right. Yeah.
Especially after him, he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
He'll do. He's a dandy. He's got a nice coat.
Yeah. So after that, I don't know. Kind of went in probably a little bit of a dry streak at that point. After that buck, then you ended up getting drawn for another rifle tag. Probably 2 years later, I'm thinking and then you ended up having this idea of going into an area that we've hunted for mule deer, and it's a little bit of a trek. But yeah, your idea was like, okay, I know there's some big muleys in there. I'm gonna get drawn for a rifle tag.
Well,
I'm gonna smack me one of them. Right?
I had taken Eric out there for OTC season, and we just saw some bangers, dude. In fact, I'll never forget, dude. My buddy Eric sends this arrow at this like stud buck, and dude, he gave him full broadside, unobstructed everything. And I remember watching his arrow, and I was like, bro, that shot's money. And the arrow's mid-flight, and I saw the fletchings and the arrow just fall apart.
Oh, really?
And I was like, God was like, nope. And Eric was just like, dude, he was just like, where is it? Yeah, he was just, whatever.
No, that wasn't it.
Yeah, along with some colorful words and,
I'm sure.
whatever, the beep, 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 beep,
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
He was pissed.
Well, the sucky part is because you gotta hike up this hill to even get to where you're even gonna hunt, and that's like, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles in.
Sure.
Just of a climb to even get to the area where you need to go hunt. So then you go and miss. It sucks.
Yeah. There it is. Anyways, but so we had decided to go in there because it's also an any deer tag, which is what I like.
Any antlered, yeah.
Yeah, so you could do any species. So, and we had seen cuckoos in there too. So it was like
we only seen like a little spike and some does at that time. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And coos aren't super prominent really in that area.
Not at all.
Just in that one part of the unit, but
probably just literally in that one section. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I've been shocked at where I've seen some coos. But So we decided to go in there, and again, man, that was one of those hunts that starts off and just kind of kicks you in the teeth. In fact, I was watching that video when going through yesterday where you're like, you said you kind of want to just go home.
Yeah, you
right
wanted
now.
to give up. You
I was
wanted
like,
to go
screw
home.
this, I'm going home.
Yeah, you wanted to go home. Mm-hmm. We weren't seeing nothing, dude. And then
Nothing.
what was it? The last day I was gonna be there.
Well, that's not true. Remember, we watched people kill stuff. Were you with me? We
Yeah,
watched.
yeah,
We
yeah.
watched
On
some
the ridge.
hunters kill one. Yeah,
Yeah, and then later that day, though.
I think that added to the.
But later that day, that's when you took a shot way down there. But
That brought my spirits up, though.
yeah, but you took that shot at that buck and just barely missed it, dude, for such a long shot.
I had never shot that distance. That wasn't 7.
Borrowed, yeah, never shot my rifle before, really.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever did. I think I just had you dry fire it in the steel driver to get used to it.
Yep.
I had it set up really well for me, and then it's always different. However you shoulder it, or however you get your eye relief and all that. Definitely makes a huge game, especially when you're shooting longer distance.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're shooting over 700 yards.
Yeah. Those are folk.
But yeah, man. But it was dialed. It was meant to be able to do that, and it was a 6.5. So I was like, all right, boom, you're ready. So we set it up. I had it all ready.
That was fun.
Dude, that was so freaking loud too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
So Jake's got at the time. Well, now you have a suppressor, but you
I
have
had
a
a muzzle brake on it.
muzzle brake, and I don't know if we just didn't pay attention to how you're set up, or it just happened so quick. But
It just naturally happened that way. It was.
Jake caught a face full of percussion.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had that buck in my binos and my Swaros right there, and I was on the tripod. I was like, all right, I'll watch the shot, watch it all the way through. Let's go. And I think you were like, all right, you ready? And I was like, yeah, let's go. And you, and I like lean out of my binos because it hit me so hard. I was like, I lean out like, what the heck? And then I get back in it just to see the bullet finally reach the target, because
which is dope. That's cool.
700 yards, and then I could just see it, and then it was like right under the belly. I was like, oh man, dude, your left and right was so money, but
Was it?
Yeah, oh yeah,
sweet.
Left and right was so money. It was just you're, I don't know, 3 feet.
Yeah.
At that point, which for 700 yards, that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. So you literally maybe one click, you would have been there.
Yeah.
But
I'll take a mulligan.
either way, yeah, you still ended up. So I ended up leaving. You stayed out there,
Yeah.
and then
I went home.
Oh, you did?
A couple days. I think a day or a couple days.
Okay.
I had to work or something like that.
Yeah.
Because we went out on the weekend. That's why you were there with me.
Right. Exactly.
Because you work Monday to Friday. So we were out on the weekend. Probably went home for like a day or two. And I think I went back out, by myself, which I was debating on even if I wanted to do that. I was just like,
Well, you did it.
yeah.
You ended up getting a nice little hard horn there too.
Yeah, I like his antlers, dude. He's probably one
Super
of
dark.
my favorite colored antler animals that I've shot. Just dark chocolate.
Super dark.
Just kind of cool. I guess that makes sense considering where they're at. They've got different stuff to scrape their antlers on. So
Right.
I am kind of curious after I explored that the second time when I went out there on my own. I started exploring a little more, and I found like this super gnarly crevice. I'm kind of curious what else is in there. But I saw some big bear poop. I just mean coos wise. I think there's probably some good bucks in there. I bet, or a buck in there.
Yeah.
There's a freaking massive coyote out there. Looks like he's eating well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you ended up getting that coos down.
Yeah.
That was a cool video. You called your wife saying, I'm coming home.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. We get that done.
Like those moments.
Obviously, you had your turkey.
What was after that?
I think that's kind of it, man.
Well, Africa.
Yeah, you ended up going on Africa.
Africa was after that.
Yeah. Then,
and then
work life kind of gets in the way.
Yeah. Well, so Africa, and then after when did I kill that other buck? The big fork.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got a nice.
Was that
Big
after
fork.
Africa?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, that was after Africa.
Yeah, that was last year. Okay.
Yeah. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
20.
I think it's 23.
Yeah, I don't know. Great question.
Yeah, you got finally end up getting a good muley that you were looking for. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's still a great buck.
Yeah, great buck. Good mature buck, which was nice. Great. Oh, wait. Yeah, I was trying to look and see when it was when my Instagram sound was on. Great body on him for sure. Got a ton of meat off of him. But some unique antlers.
Very unique, yeah.
Yeah. Still chasing that 4x4 though.
Yeah,
I want that.
It'll come.
Yeah,
it'll come.
It will. That's what's cool about all this is just getting settled into the groove of patience.
I think it's it hits so fast and hits so quick that I think a little bit of a setback and a little bit of a reality check was nice.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no pressure anymore.
Yep.
I don't feel like, I don't necessarily. I think there might have been back then because we were just trying to grow and have content and be able to just be successful. But now it's kind of, we're out here just, back into the basics of now we're just out here having fun, man.
Enjoying it.
Yeah, we're out here having fun. We've already been successful multiple times. I've had 2 phenomenal bulls. I had a great coos.
Yeah, dude, your
Mule
last
deer
bull
will come.
Freaking kill a 344 bull, dude. Come on now.
Yeah.
What? Now what?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go to a different unit.
There's still a bigger one out there.
No, come on.
I'm curious what he would score.
Now what is going out to Montana?
Yeah, so you've got
antelope.
Montana coming up.
Yeah, I'm
Pumped?
excited.
Yeah?
I'm so pumped.
Yeah,
man. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit of a... there's so much animals out there that where it's kind of it's just going to be a pick and choose, I guess, game. And then I do kind of want to suffer. I don't want it to just be like a quick done. You go out there for 2 hours, get it done, and just relax. I don't want to do that.
might be, man. I mean, you're probably going to be a lot of.
I do want to try
driving around.
Well, that's what. Yeah, 100% with that. But
I don't know if
I don't want to just go out there, drive around, shoot something 700 yards, and then come back to the truck and drink beer the rest of the day.
You might go out and drive around, and that ends up kind of pushing them, and you bumping them around a little bit, and it's a game of pinball, and like you said, you might find that suffrage out there like that.
I'm talking of suffrage of putting in a few stalks with my bow first, and that's what I'll see. Yeah, I want to see what that does.
You got to take that white game bag and hold it up,
maybe,
or do one of them cow decoys.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see, but.
Yeah.
If they've got some good rolling hills, try and stay in those little divots and those little valleys.
Walk in the trenches, kind of.
Yeah, walk in those little deep spots where you can kind of poke out and.
You gonna wear a ghillie suit?
Not in the plains. I would just look like a
dress up like a
tumbleweed. Yeah, like a tumbleweed.
Yeah, just roll
around the whole time. Yeah. What the hell is he doing? You just see the guide there. I don't know. There's a white boy. I don't know what he's doing over there from Arizona. Because it's going to be on the reservation too. I don't know what this guy's doing here.
That's funny.
He doesn't know how to hunt. Then I shoot one. They're like, okay, never mind. I don't know what to tell you.
Just dress up like a tumbleweed, dude.
Dude, that's how you got to do it, bro. You get 10 yards in with them, you just roll around. I don't know what to expect, man, but I just hopefully expect a great time, and I think we will, because with the company we're gonna have, the people,
I'm sure
it'll be an awesome time. So
I know
it's been a dream for me to try and harvest an antelope. So
you've always kind of talked about that. You like the antelopes.
I don't know why, man. They're very interesting and fascinating animals. How well their eyesight is, how fast they are.
And we've gotten so close so many times.
Yeah, that's true. A couple times, but like any other time that I've came across them, boom, they're gone. Like it's always been a weird. Like I've hunted some OTC deer unit over near Williams area, like unit what is that, 10?
10.
And I think it's unit 10. No, unit 8. Sorry, unit 8.
Okay.
Wasn't successful, but I ended up seeing these antelope coming up, and they just spotted me. I was barely moving. Boom, gone. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What, dude?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's just, I guess they've always just been fascinating, and then obviously they're just unique.
Yeah. You've had some deer do that too.
There's
also.
only one antelope here in Arizona, so that's what's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not every other state has it, so that's another cool factor of it. That's kind of the same thing as coos. There's only 2 states that have coos deer. Us and New Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico. Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
just the cool factor of it.
Sure. Yeah, that's something I think I kind of want to start inspiring to do is getting a deer slam would be kind of dope.
Yeah.
Just because I've got mule deer, I've got coos.
Yeah.
I've killed a bunch of whitetail, and I've killed a whitetail buck, but they were just small. Little, like, hey, that's a meat buck, so go ahead and kill him. But I'd like to get a decent whitetail if I find one that strikes my fancy. And then what's left after that? Blacktail, I think.
There's no blacktails here.
No, not here in Arizona, but I'm saying for the deer slam.
Okay, for the deer slam.
That would just be blacktail.
I don't know,
Unless
probably, blacktail. So you have your whitetail, probably a coos deer, mule deer.
Let me make sure I'm...
So you'll have like an eastern whitetail, probably a coos deer, mule deer, and then blacktail.
North American deer slam. Whitetail, mule deer. Oh, Colombian blacktail, Sitka blacktail. Where do you find Colombian?
Okay.
So Sitka blacktail, I think you got to go up to like Alaska to get those, right? That's what
Colombia is probably like BC.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because British Columbia. Just saying.
Recognize the achievement of completing a whitetail slam. Okay.
But yeah, so what's next, man? What's the next thing?
I'm kind of looking for. Well, I'm gonna definitely try OTC in August. I'll go back and do a little throwdown on where the wife and John were.
Okay.
Just probably walk through there real slowly with my bow and
see what you can do.
Try and stalk one, yeah. There's definitely some good bucks there. So I'll probably try maybe 1 or 2 times. I'm not going to give it a real hard go around, but honestly, what's provoking me to do that is not necessarily the allure of hunting, but it's honestly the new gear that Scree came out with.
Okay.
That ultralight stuff, it's like a super light Under Armour fabric, and the fact that it's long sleeve and has a built-in face mask, like that's what sells me on going out there, because a lot of the other clothing is just too heavy to go out there. So having something like that motivates me to go out more because it's going to be a lot better heat management for my body. So that kind of pumps me up to get out there and do that. But I'll give that a go around. I don't know. Put in for deer for rifle.
Yeah. Put in for deer for rifle. I think the next step with this here, I guess, is it seems like, in my opinion too, and which has been awesome, but getting other people into it.
Yeah.
And it maybe, we just hasn't been successful yet necessarily. You've gotten some friends that have gotten it, but I don't know, like John and Devin, getting them out there. I know you've got some other buddies you want to try and get it out and get hunting and see if they can actually get in there. You gotta.
So I just
just introducing people.
I just got the brand new Matthews lift. That's fully decked out, ready to go. So now I've got my V3 sitting here. So I just kind of thought about it. Do you want to keep it as a backup? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to what do you want to do with this bow? And my thought process was, well, why not take that bow that's already ready to rock and loan it out? I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to loan it out to someone, and get them, someone that's, because I had buddies come over and they already shot my V3, even though it wasn't fitted to them.
Right.
And they were hitting 20 yards. It's like, well, cool. Now imagine like if it was fitted to him and it was his bow and he could use it for a season and hunt with me, together, and we could get him his first buck or something.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process on that.
Yeah. The only thing is the only thing with that is, you just got to find somebody that's just dedicated, I guess, right? That's willing to be dedicated of at least doing it and
that's
trying
the biggest
and
thing.
showing up.
I had that discussion with the wife, was like, who are the candidates for this? Because I want it to be somebody that's already kind of in our circle of family and friends and all that stuff. That's where I'll start. Maybe someday eventually we'll get to where we take out, a follower or something like that we don't know or whatever. But was like, okay, the candidates that we know are like the most dedicated, and would be there every time.
Like, it's not necessarily whoever's the fittest in shape or who's not going to, hurt going out there. Because, dude, I've been out of shape for a long time and still be able to do things. But it's just the will. It's the drive of being determined, It
is literally all mental determination.
It's really. Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
When times get tough, don't just quit,
Yep. I guarantee. Excuse me. I guarantee those times will get tough. You were
100%.
100% going to hit the lows.
Because we've already done it. We know. That's why I'm saying it's not just a matter of fact of who's going to be able to physically endure, who's going to be able to mentally endure.
Yeah.
And that's way beyond physical.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you have the will and the mental, it doesn't matter. You're gonna make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just a matter of time at that point.
Yeah. So
like you said, I for sure, John drew in last year on one point. It's gonna be tough if he does it, draws one again, but I am for sure all in on getting him eventually his first deer because he wants it bad.
I seen it. He got the fire in him a little bit, which was cool. Yeah.
I for sure want to get my wife to get her first animal. She's not as motivated to get a coos deer. She's just a diehard axis girl. Like, she just loves the meat so much that she's like, you put me on an axis and I will 100% shoot it right then and there. And she'll hunt other animals too. She said, put me in again for deer. Ooh, actually, I need to put her in for deer. But she said, put her in for deer. And so I'm going to put her in again. And I think would be really great. I think she just needs to connect first. It didn't help that we took her out and she didn't see a thing. So
it's a tough. We talk about how we always find deer, but it's a tough hunt. There's so much overgrowth. It's a tough area. Yeah. Tough area.
Just
coos deer is already a tough
super
hunt,
thick junipers and gnarly canyons, and it's like they could be anywhere. But when it happens, it finally happens. She went home and literally the day after that, boom. Found them all.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, it was opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And it was like, I told her, granted, to give her a break, we had family coming in. Her family was coming in. So, but just that's how it goes. You got to play it out and you're going to find them. We will, find them, but just you don't know when. So, that's where I'm looking at. What are you looking at next? I know the answer, but I'm waiting for you to arrive at it.
What am I looking at next?
Yeah.
Obviously, this antelope hunt.
Even bigger than that.
I've had this dream of mine, and I've set it mentally, and I've shared it with you before, but this is a long-term goal. But before I turn 40, I want to go up to Alaska and do an archery moose hunt.
Okay.
The only other thing I can say that I would want to get done and finally get it off my belt is a bear.
Yeah. Oh, bear, I think, is a thorn in both of our sides for sure. So you're still not picking up on what I'm saying. I think the thing that you're probably looking forward to the most, but you just forgot, is your dad's elk hunt.
Yeah. I mean, that's, not me personally, but yes.
Yeah. You've just told me how much you're looking forward to it, especially when he got drawn. You're like, old man's going hunting. Like, we're hunting together. Like, can't wait.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's, I don't know. That's full circle. That's how I felt last year too, when he was there by my side the whole time, when I, had this bull coming 30 yards.
Yeah.
344-inch bull, 40 yards, 30 yards.
Yep.
Had the huge suffer. That was tough, but we ended up getting it. But I say full circle because, dude, I've got photos of my dad taking me out when I was probably, 4, 3, in little diapers, and so he grew up archery hunting all the time and rifle hunting and stuff like that, but always archery hunting. And he had a buddy kind of like, same situation where you and me, where they would go hunting all the time, and it was always archery. Fast track a little bit later, he has kids. Now he's got to start trying to figure out, okay, how do I continue to hunt? Because it's a passion that I love. Well, at that point, it's tough to have kids with you and archery hunt, right? To introduce them into the hunting. So you go into rifle, okay? Yeah. So growing up, we've always ended up doing rifle hunts. And then I remember, I don't know if I was in like 6th grade maybe, he was going elk hunting, and I went scouting with him in the summertime, like the whole time or whatever, like trying to get it. I remember we had this elk, and he'll tell you too, but we had elk, we're sitting at a base of a tree and literally come up and almost, it felt like they're sniffing your feet, right? And big bulls, dude. But I remember at that point, I was always like, okay, when are we going to go hunting? When are we going to go hunting? And I get off of school and I come home and Dad's already gone to go up hunting, right? Because it was an archery hunt, so he's not going to take me. Sure. And I was just so like heartbroken, you know, and like, so obviously at that point I was waiting for him to finally get home and ask him how it went. And unfortunately that wasn't a successful hunt, but he's had bulls before that. He's been successful with deer hunting too as well. So to finally get him back out there and to see him hopefully get another, you know, quality bull. Yeah. Or at least just get that fire back in him again. I think it's just always fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's something.
It's not. He's not going to be in the shape he is for the rest of his life, you know. So he's only getting older and older, and do it while we can, while we're still together.
Right. And I think that's
what's cool.
We actually kind of did overlook a few things, and I think about it. But that's something I'm glad. All the stuff that you and I have always shared together has been super amazing. But I'm also glad that you and I got to share a father-son hunt together too in Texas.
Right.
Like, that was awesome watching, because I hear all these stories of your dad hunting and stuff. And, you know, I was always like, come on, Randy, like, you know, get out there. Well, you know, work and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like, time's not growing, it's diminishing. And I remember saying things kind of like that to your dad.
Yeah.
And then I think we kind of just made the deal too good to refuse.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right. And so finally getting out there with him and seeing him hunt and you know, the metaphor of knocking the dust off or whatever, and getting archery again and shooting deer with his bow. And
to his point though, too, is I guess to give a little bit of an excuse to him, his mind's just set different. I don't know how, and your dad's the same way.
Oh yeah.
But their minds are just set different, and it's probably just the era they grew up in.
It's gotta be.
They're always doing something, no matter what. He's always moving, doing something. He's got 10 million irons in the fire. Yep. That's always the saying that he says, I got 10 million irons in the fire, I don't know what to do. But they always put it on themselves, right? Like as much as I love them, and they need to relax, man.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta stop and enjoy it.
And I think partially to what's kind of helped alleviate some of that, and him enjoying his time now and enjoying life, is me being able to take over, obviously, the company. And so now he's not got such a stress on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's going off for a month vacation right now. So
heck yeah.
Just doing it all, you know?
Yep.
And then he's coming back. We're going to Montana that following week, right after Montana. He's got his elk hunt. Yep. I mean, so hopefully maybe a deer hunt too, you know? Right. I mean, living the best life now, you know? So yeah, your dad's got property up in Tennessee now.
Yeah.
So we can start making some plots up there or whatever. I don't know, but at least grooming it. And
lots of whitetail up there.
It's cool. It's cool to see that mold, or at least get that ignite into those guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, I forgot. Didn't forget, but the timeline. Forgot to add to the timeline the father-son hunt. Oh, we got a buffalo in there too.
Yeah, you got a buffalo in there.
And a bobcat.
We got a bob kitty, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A bob kitty.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's been a blessing to be able to do what we've done in such a short period of time, but but with the friendship that we've had, you know, yeah, man, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Heck yeah, dude. It's been a wild ride.
It's been a wild ride.
We're
Yeah.
only getting started.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, cool, buddy. I think that's pretty good for a 7th anniversary episode.
I would say so. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I don't know.
No?
No.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the future. That's all I can say.
Yeah, me too. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Life's just starting, man. We're only 7 years into this,
Right.
As BowhuntingAZ, and
Yeah.
it's pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah. Heck yeah,
So,
brother.
And thank you guys for at least tagging along and listening.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for all the support.
All the stories you guys have told us too. That's cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That, and then just meeting people like, oh, dude, like, you know, I met a guy the other day in the shop.
Yeah, just the awesome
He's just
community.
like, oh man, I've watched
Yeah.
you guys. Like, you know, just thank you. And yeah, the kid at the church, the Wild Game Night, him and his
Yeah.
dad sat down and was like, thanks, this episode helped me do this. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's it's not because we're knowledgeable or an expert on anything. It's just sharing the advice that we learned from the mishaps and
Yeah.
what we learn, and I guess on occasion the things we do right.
Yeah.
when
Just
they happen.
I guess the work ethic, you know.
Yep.
That's what's got us where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a bear.
We'll get it.
Yes, we will. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Like always, you know, give us a shout, say
Yep.
hello. Don't be afraid to introduce yourselves if you see us out somewhere. And yeah, let us know if you have any other episode suggestions or what you'd like to see from us in the future too, for the years to come.
Thank you guys.
All right. See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast and smash those 5 stars on iTunes or Spotify and leave a little review at the bottom. It'll really help us out. For our short films, go subscribe over on YouTube. Just search BowhuntingAZ. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at BowhuntingAZ. Good luck to everyone this season. Thank you again for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.